Assalamualaikum. Hope all you're doing well. Today I am coming back to you with a recipe to how to cook chicken roast, Bengali style. Not the kind where you grill it in the oven or on your grill machine out there. It's a roast that's totally, absolutely done on the stovetop. So it's going to be a whole chicken roast. So I'm going to show it to you how I do it. It's pretty straightforward and simple. If you have the ingredients at home, that's all you need. So I'm going to start off with onion. You will need onion. It's called berista in Bangla. So basically it's fried onion. You can use already made fried onions. So you can buy these store-bought fried onions. Any brand you want. I have a big bag, but for this particular chicken roast, I think the flavor is so much nicer if you can make your own fried onion, the berista. So what I've done first of all is taken an onion this size, 2 onions this size, and sliced them up in this size. Okay, so basically you cut it in half and then you slit each half into 3 and then just chop them up into tiny pieces like this. And I'm going to now fry these in onion. This is the first thing it takes a bit of time to fry the onion, so that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to just turn on the stove and to a little bit higher than medium, and then just pour some oil. And we just let the onion cook in here until it turns brown and it's all caramelized. You have to keep an eye on it because if it gets burnt, you cannot use it because it will get bitter, and you don't want bitter onion fries in your food. So you can put more, you can use more oil if you want to, but it's not necessary. I'm going to do a little bit more oil because it looks like it's a lot of onion. Just pour it on top, and that was probably like a 1/4 cup of oil, and you just let it cook. While this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make the spice mix, okay? I'm going to make it in a bowl so that I can dump them all in at once when it's time to use it. So, first off, here's the bowl, and then I'm going to start putting in the spices. So you will need some ginger paste, garlic paste. Where's my ginger paste? Okay. Ginger paste, 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. Okay, and then you will need garlic paste, 1 tablespoon. My garlic paste and ginger paste is made at home. You can always buy them at store already made. You will need dhania. This is I guess cilantro, powdered cilantro. What do you call it? Dhania. Dhania powder. You will need dhania powder, 2 tablespoons. So I'm using a dry tablespoon now because I've used wet for that. 2 tablespoons. 1 powdered, 2 tablespoons powdered dhania. You will need black pepper, 1 teaspoon. If you can fit your black teaspoon inside your black pepper, you can either pour it out or you can use a smaller spoon. So I'm going to use here 1 teaspoon black pepper. So you will need poppy seed. This is in Bangla called postodana. So it's like tiny, very tiny. You can see it is like tiny. posted dana, poppy seed. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of poppy seed paste. So I used a coffee grinder to make the paste. Okay, so basically it's dry, but when you grind it, it becomes a bit wet and pasty. So I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons of that. So 2 tablespoons poppy seed, and this is one of the main ingredient in chicken roast. You have to use this. Unfortunately, you know, usually I use a substitute, use something different in place of something else if I don't have it, but unfortunately in this case you will need this to make it exact taste of the roast that, you know, I'm going for over here. So here's 1 tablespoon, and it's all stuck because it's really wet. Two tablespoons. All right. The next you will need mace. If you have never seen mace, what it is in Bangla, it's called joitri. So it's like this. It smells so good, but you have to use limited amount, okay? You cannot use a whole lot. You have to. All right, so you will need this. This is mace, and you will need a 1/4 teaspoon of this. If you cannot make a powder out of it because it's so little, you're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take it in your palm and just crush it. Crush it. Little bit goes a long way. If you use too much of it, it might end up being a little bit bitter. So is this 1/4 teaspoon? Just a little bit more like that, same amount. Another one of like this, and just crush it. And you put it in here. There you go. That's 1/4 teaspoon amount. You put it in here, okay? That's that. And then you will need salt. 1 tablespoon salt. If you're not comfortable putting 1 tablespoon at once, go ahead and just put a little bit less, because you can always, you know, adjust the salt later. And then you will, after that, need some yogurt, but I'm not going to add the yogurt in here. You will need 1 1/2 cup of yogurt. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this right in here. So this is ready. The paste is ready. You will also need ghee or butter, or ghee butter together, or just oil. For this roast, I like to use both ghee and butter because it's so much more rich in taste and texture. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of ghee. I got this from Aldi. And I'll use another 1/4 cup of butter, or maybe a little more of butter. So this 1 stick is 1/2 cup. So I will probably use the whole thing, and just a 1/4 cup or a bit less ghee. Ghee is just for the nice fragrance of it, okay? So this is ready. Onion is cooking here. Let me just flip it a little more. Just flip it 1 time and let it cook. This is something we will need a bit towards the end, so I don't worry too much about it, but you still have to keep an eye on it so it cooks nicely and evenly. Halfway through cooking, I'm going to add a sprinkle of sugar. It makes it nice. Now to work with the chicken. So I have my whole chicken right over here, and I will show you what I've done with it. But let me put on some gloves first. So you don't have to use gloves, you can always use just your hand, but you know, since I'm working with a whole chicken. Alright, so I have cleaned it, I have skinned it, and taken off all the extra fat. Now I'm going to show you how exactly I'm going to prepare this chicken. So here's the chicken. It's a whole chicken, right? You lay it down here. Now I'm going to put some slits on this chicken so that when I put the spices, it can go in, okay? And it doesn't stay dry inside. So you can just go ahead and start making slits like this. Yeah, both sides. See, the breast is a bit more thick white meat, so you want the masala to go inside. So that's that. Now that I've done that, I'm going to do the same on the leg, back of the leg, in front of the leg as well. Okay. Now I'm going to flip the chicken over a little bit, and then I'm going to make cuts here on the thigh. A little bit here, a little bit here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fork and prick it a little bit where I did not cut, so all the spices can go inside. Flip it over again and prick it all over. That's it. That is that. Now you are going to put this whole chicken into a bowl where you're going to mix it up with all the spices. So let me put this aside and then do that part. So I'm going to wash my gloves so that I can still use it and massage the chicken. Go ahead and flip the onion a little bit. Stir it up. So it's starting to brown on the sides. Yeah. Now comes the butter and the ghee. Here's the spices, here's the ghee, here's the yogurt, and here's the butter. So, here's the chicken. You can see it. Alright, so first I'm going to dump in 1.5 cup of yogurt in here, okay? So I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring, so here's 1/2 cup. Here's another 1/2 cup, that makes 1, and another 1/2 cup. Okay? There is that. And then I'm going to dump in my softened butter. You can melt the butter. You can melt it and use it. Just either softened or melted. Whichever you have, use it that way. If you have your butter in the fridge, it will take time for it to soften. Just melt it on the stove top in a small pan. And that's it. There. Whole stick of butter. Okay? And then I'm going to use some ghee. I can open this. Let's see how to. What do you know? I might have to take my gloves off. It's really stuck. Sometimes you just have to loosen the lid a bit. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. There you go. That worked, loosening it up. So here's the ghee. This spoon to get the ghee, about a 1/4 cup. Actually, might even use less since there's so much here. 2 tablespoons. Let's just say 2 tablespoons ghee. And then you add all these beautiful spice mix that we just made. Alright, that's that. I'm going to pour some water in this because we're going to use it in a bit. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to massage this chicken very beautifully with all this, okay? It would be nice if you could leave this chicken in this masala, this marinade for, you know, a little bit of time so that it can seep into the chicken through those slits and the pricks that I made. And then you can cook it, but for this video's purpose, I'm not going to wait too long. I'm just going to have to cook it a little longer. But you can't, this is chicken, so you have to cook it for a while to make sure all the spices go in, but you can't cook it for too long or everything is going to fall apart. The chicken is going to fall apart. It won't be a whole chicken anymore. And by the way, this recipe is not meant for just a whole chicken. I'm just showing you whole chicken. You can use any cut of chicken. You can have small pieces of chicken. You can have just leg and thigh together. You can use any cut of chicken. I'm just doing it with a whole chicken because I made it just a few days ago and it turned out so well. So I wanted to make a video to how I exactly make it. So now that this has been beautifully marinated, or massage into the marinade, I'm going to leave it here for just a few minutes before, you know, I go any further. Well, I'll go ahead and wash my hand. Very greasy because of the ghee and butter. Right. That's that. And look, my onion is starting to brown, so gotta be very careful. Lower the heat. Now I can just cook it in a lower heat because I don't need this onion right away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a teaspoon of sugar on it. Alright, now that the chicken is ready and the onion is getting fried, I'm going to go ahead and show you what's going on. And then I'll show you in a minute how to put it in the stovetop. So this is what the onion looks like right now. It's cooking, yeah? So what else you need to prepare for later on is you will need lemon. You will need half a lemon. So this is the size of a lemon. I already cut it into half. I'm going to use half of this lemon later on when the chicken is nicely cooked through. I'm going to use keora. Okay, I'm going to use some cardamom and some bay leaf. Bay leaf, sorry, cinnamon. 8 of these. 8 of these. You can use the powdered one, but I don't want to make it all powdered. I want it whole so I can take them out later on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to put this aside over here. And I'm going to get the cinnamon. You're going to just use 1 stick, okay? If you want to use powdered cinnamon, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of powdered cinnamon, that's it. Or else you can just go ahead and use just 1 stick. Okay. Putting these away while I marinate the chicken a little bit longer. I like to clean as I cook, or else it gets super messy and I don't like that. Sugar here. Alright. Whatever else I need, I'll leave it here. Now I'm going to place the chicken in the pot that I'm going to cook it in. So I'm going to show you what exactly I do. Hopefully you can see it. There is the pot. You need a pot that's a little bit deep so that the whole chicken can fit in there. So I'm not going to put any oil in here because the chicken already has butter and ghee in it. So you don't need any. Just turn on the stove on high. And then put the chicken in. Press back on. That's wet. When your hand is a bit wet, it's harder to put on the gloves. Here I have my gloves on. Now, reduce the heat. Here is the chicken, the marinade. So, I'm going to take it and then place it right in. Okay, now I'm going to put every little bit of it in here. There. That's in there. I'm going to use my spatula to scrape up every single drop of it. Don't leave anything in this bowl. Trust me, when you scrape, it's like a whole lot that's left. That is it. Remember earlier how I saved some water in the bowl which we put the spices in, mixed together? We're going to go ahead and use that water. Put it in high. pour that water. This is like about half a cup of water. Later on you can add more if you think you need it to boil the chicken. So basically now what's this going, it's cooking and it's boiling kind of making the chicken all soft and everything. So this is the cooking process at this point. And you just, that's it, just leave it in there. And you keep on checking. I'm going to check it every 15 minutes to see how it's cooking, and then at one point the water will start to evaporate, the juice, the masala will start to evaporate, and when it's not too much anymore, you can just check and see if the chicken looks cooked. And if the chicken looks cooked, at that point when you add the rest of the ingredient, which is the lemon, the garam masalas, which is the cinnamon stick and cardamom, and then you add some sugar, and then you add some keora. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on. Let this sit in there and cook. And that is it. I will cook this for a little bit and then I will show you the rest of it in a little bit. Be back. Hi. Now that the chicken's been cooking for approximately 20 minutes, 25 minutes, in between I flipped the chicken over once, and it's cooked pretty well, but I am going to add the rest of the ingredients. Now this is what you are looking for at this point. This is what it's going to look like. See, because I flipped it, it's browned a little bit. So, and as you can see, the oil has come upward. So all the spices are in the bottom of the pot, and the oil is kind of submerged up there. So at this point is when we're going to add the rest of the ingredient. So here is the cinnamon and the 8 cardamom. I'm going to just dump them all in like that. Cinnamon in there. I'm going to squeeze half a lemon in here. And now that it's all squeezed in, I'm going to go ahead and wash your hands. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Sprinkle it all in. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. You can add more to your taste. And then I'm going to add some keora. So you see the cap of this bottle? It's approximately 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to add 2 of these. One. 2. And that's that. So no more ingredients remaining. That is all that you have to do. What you can do now is, though, kind of like spoon the gravy on top of the chicken everywhere, like that. Just put it. Alright, so now that I've done that, this is what the onion looks like. The onion that we fried earlier, this is what it looks like. See, it's all brown. I'm going to take it out of here and put it in another bowl. Probably the same one that I used earlier, or not. So, put the onion in another bowl. So try to get the oils out of it. So kind of tilt it like this, and the oil comes to one side, and you can go ahead and there you go. So here's some. There is the rest. So I got almost all of it. go. And now that I've done that, what I'll do is in the chicken, see, this is what it looks like. In the chicken that's cooking with the rest of the remaining spice that I just added, I'm going to go ahead and add half of this onion in here. On the chicken, in the gravy. And I'm going to leave the rest of it for when I plate it. Okay. So let me give you a looky look. This is what it looks like. So I added the chicken inside. I've added the rest of the spices, the garam masalas, which is the cardamom and the cinnamon and the keora and the sugar and the lemon. And I have added the fried onion, half of it up top. And I'm going to let it rest in there for approximately 10 more minutes. And then once that's done, I'm going to take the chicken out, but leave the gravy inside the pot. And then I'm going to take the chicken out because otherwise it's going to get too cooked and everything's going to start to fall apart. So I'm letting it cook just so that the remaining masala that I just put like a few minutes ago, the flavor of it can get into the chicken. And then I'm going to take the chicken out and put it aside on a dish and then let the gravy simmer for another 10 minutes longer so that the gravy is no longer liquidy. It becomes nice and thick and it's just wonderful. That's what makes it like the best roast. So that's what it's going to be like. If I am able to show the end product what it looks like, I will add it, or else just try this recipe and I promise you it's going to be the best. Eat it. Try to eat it with pulao. It tastes the best with pulao. If not, just regular rice is just fine. Until next time, Assalamualaikum.